Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to the OWLS Racing League, where tonight we are here for Season 7, Round 3, head from one circuit to another. Sorry, Round 4, should I say. We head from one street circuit to another. We head from Las Vegas to Saudi Arabia. Yes, we are at the Jeddah Corniche Street Circuit for this evening's action. Be in for a great race ahead of us. Last time out, Puzant did take finally that first race win of the season after getting it brutally taken away from him in Belgium. He was able to finally get what was the he's and at a circuit which last season not treat him well at all. So it shows that Puzant still has the pace to compete. And talking about competing, let's have a look at your standings heading into this evening, and it is oh so close at the top. 3 points separates Cook and Puzant here this evening, with the former, of course, leading the way. 3 points clear of the Kick Sauber driver. Then they've got a comfy 22-point gap back to Newt Panda in third. Then it's Liam, Ben, Joker, Swaggy, Ericsson, Andy, Jefton, Away Pack, Harvey, Massive, Sprint, Liam Bearder, and Jay Thomas rounding out the top 16 drivers evening. But crucially, the drivers are now heading trackside. We are going to get ready for qualifying. Of course, if you're new here, it's an 18-minute qualifying session followed up by a 50% race, which I believe is 25 laps of this circuit. Should be a rather interesting one. So let's head trackside now. Of course, as you would expect, dry conditions here in Jeddah. But we'll see what these drivers have in store. Of course, the fastest street circuit on the calendar, and also one of the toughest, because the walls are so close to you. You carry so much speed through the corners, it's easy to put it in the wall and ruin any chance of a good either qualifying lap or a good finish in the race. So, as the drivers just peel out onto the circuit, first driver around looks to be the Ferrari of Newt Panda. The first one to be making his way onto the circuit. Of course, third in the standings. There's a really good start to the season. 2 podiums in 3 races. Certainly a contender for best of the rest when it comes to not being Puzant and Cook at this current moment. As he makes his way around the circuit, of course, under the lights, 2 night races in a row. Shows in this offboard camera as well how much speed and how much velocity they take these, how much aggression they, well, even on their outlaps. So, as we make our way into the final corner with Newt Panda taking that wide line to slingshot himself down that main straight and gain as much speed as possible, heading down into that first corner. DRS and battery will be used as you hit the brakes at the 100-meter board. Just doesn't cut as much of the inside curb there as you'd like through turn 1, offsets his run through turn 2. And as he makes his way into 4, down to 5th gear, no, shifts down to 4th at the last moment, hits that apex nicely through 5, 6, and now into 7, 8, and into the tricky parts of 9 and 10. A big lift there from the Ferrari. Now as he makes his way through that first sector split, it's a 32.5, late on the brakes into the banked hairpin of turn 12. It's so easy to loop the rear out of there. And as we make our way now up into turns 15 and 16, late on the brakes once more, down to 5th gear, bring the car out to that right hand side just as you're about to tap that outside wall. And then of course DRS open for the second time in the lap. The 3 DRS zones here as BJ Riley has retired from the session. Nicely done through 22 and 23. Keeps the car within play on track limits. Now up to the final corner we come with New Panda, of course. Turns 25 and 26 are these double left-handers down the straight on the curve straight, and then into that final corner down to third gear, brings it as close to that apex as he can, and also a nice exit there, really bringing the car all the way against the wall. The benchmark of the session is a 28.1. Not too shabby there from New Panda, as Sprint had invalidated their lap. Still waiting for Rory to start a lap. New Panda's teammate Swaggy is pushing on himself. What can he do as he now comes through the final corner? Not as close to that inside wall as his teammates, or the outside wall either. But is it enough to displace his teammates' lap? No, it is not. He's going to be 1.2 seconds off. He slots into second fastest. Puzan is pushing around the circuit. His time sets at 29.9. Of course, the circuit license is about driver confidence. And the more laps they do in this session, the more confident they'll feel, and the pace will slowly start to build further and further up. And that's going to be crucial come the end of this session. And for someone like Cook, who only does the one banker lap followed by one more lap in the session, it could mean he could be in a spot of trouble. He might switch up that tactic to give himself as much track running as possible. The A-team is just in front of Puzan, but we're going to stay on board with the Kick Sauber for now as he makes his way to the line. The man second in the standings. Last time out winner, he slots in to second fastest behind New Panda, a 28.2 from the Kick Sauber driver. And the man second place in the standings. Second place currently in this qualifying session. I think we have Liam Beard coming up to the line, but he has unfortunately invalidated. Same could be said here for Rory. Have a look at the A-team as he's now heading through the final couple of corners. What could he deliver here? Only 5 drivers setting lap times thus far. For the A-team, he makes his way through the final corner. Did he make a mistake potentially on this lap? Because this actually potentially going to be the slowest of all. Across the line he goes. No, full fast. It's 29.8. Able to get a lap onto the board. But let's have a look at his teammate and championship leader, Cook. And of course, reigning champion as well. Looking to defend that crown. Of course, at round 4 here of the season, Ben goes into 4th. He's had a very strong start to the season as well, as the Williams driver. But up to the line will come Ben. Can he rival New Panda and Puzan? Is it going to be enough, or is he just going to fall short? It's more than going to be enough. It's 6 tenths clear for Cook as he goes quickest of the pile to the top of the times. And for Cook, that is a healthy margin to start this session off with. 6 tenths of a second separate him and the closest car as Liam makes his way through Sector 1 with a 32.4 in that first part of the lap. There's a little bit of traffic from this Ash driver in front. I think this is of Sprint. Gets out of the way quite nicely though on the exit of 15, but certainly would have gave the Alpine some dirty air through that middle part of the lap. 1 minute 0.6 through that middle sector, about a 10th off Cook. We could still have the battle for pole position. Of course, the last 2 races, Liam has started on that front row of the grid in the second place spot. So heading through the final corner, really understeers wide and hits that outside wall. And up to the line we go here with Liam. Is it enough to snatch it away from Cook? No, misses out by just under a 10th of a second. Liam slots nicely into second fastest. Very happy with that one. Joker is just starting his first attempt as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the Kick Sauber driver can do. Of course, has been a torrid start to the season. Ended the season last season with 3 race wins in a row. And this season has just not been able to find that form just yet, even at one of his stronger tracks at Las Vegas. But the Joker can now see what he can deliver. Makes his way through the first sector. Look how committed that was. That was so on the limit. And it's a 31.9. He's 2 tenths up on Liam in that first sector. And this could potentially be enough for a three-way battle for pole position, but of course still plenty of time to be found for a lap like this, especially in the technical middle part of the lap through turns 14 and 15, and of course the hairpin as well. DRS now open for Joker. Makes his way through the middle sector split. It's a 1 minute point 0. He's half a second up on what even Cook set in that middle part of the lap. Could we see our first driver into the 26s, or will Joker just fall short? Here we are then at this midpoint of qualifying, onto the brakes with the kick Sauber. He put some throttle application down to get the car rotated in, and now out of the corner we go. Could we see our first 26, or is he just going to fall shy of that margin? He is, but it's still provisional pole position by 2 tenths of a second. Joker hits the front of the field at this mid-stage of qualifying, but is that also down to the fact of track evolution as we make it to that halfway stage, as Cook especially sets his lap around about 3 minutes ago in the session. Where does Cook actually elect to come back out? Is he doing his usual strategy? Will he not? Not doing his normal strategy is Cook. He's coming out for a second run early, showing how much confidence really does play into sessions like these here at Jeddah. Now he's coming out for a second run at the 8-minute mark. Something we've not seen him do all season long, but this evening, elected to do it now because he knows his time in the lap, and the track will just keep ramping up and up and up. So as Cook pushes on, Buzant is on a lap and he's up by 2 tenths of a second. Newt Panda as well is pushing on, but he's a little bit further back, so we'll go on board with the kick Sauber of Buzant as he makes his way through the middle sector split in a couple of moments' time. He's still up by 2 tenths of a second. This will not be enough to make his way onto the top 3, but it will be the second row of the grid still, and move himself in front of Newt Panda. So for Buzant, as he makes his way up into that final corner, late on the brakes, has a Haas in front of him. That might have been a minor distraction, but it's nothing major. So as he makes his way up to the line for Buzant, what's it going to be? Is it enough to rival the drivers at the front of the field? No, for fastest isn't able to find a big improvement, and Panda has invalidated as well. So he will stay 5th fastest for now, but all eyes now turn to Cook, who's just made his way into the middle sector split, and he's already up by a 10th in that first part of the lap. Nicely done through turn 12. Back on the power nice and early. What we're going to see through this middle sector from the Aston Martin. Are we going to find any more of improvement, or is he just going to fall short of Joker's lap time? Of course, we'll need to find around about 3.5 tenths of a second. Alavar goes to the top of the times. Ulvar, sorry, should I say. He goes up into 4th place. He's making his debut here this season. This would be something interesting to see if he has the pace to rival the drivers at the front of the field. Cook now making his way into that final part of the lap, up into that final corner. The Aston Martin, of course, he took pole position last time out, and also at Imola. Can he make it 3 poles in a row, or will somebody be able to pip him in this session? Across the line we'll go here with Cook. Is it enough? No, just falls short by a 10th of a second. And for Cook, it's only second fastest, as all eyes now turn to Liam, who's up by nearly 4 tenths in that first sector. Already tracking to be enough for the front row of the grid. As it currently stands, he'll just be shy of Joker's lap time by not even a 10th, but he's up by 4.5 tenths of a second. Liam is flying around the Jeddah Corniche circuit here this evening. He opens up the DRS down this back straight. What can he deliver? What can he do on this second lap of qualifying just before his final runs, where we're getting into those crucial moments of the session? A bit of a slide out the final corner, but is it still enough to take provisional pole away from Joker? Across the line we go with the Alpine. It is! It's not by much, but it is enough. It's by 3/400ths of a second. Liam heads to the top of the times, and it's provisional pole for the Alpine, and he's looking at his first pole position of the season. So for Liam, the Alpine driver who won in Imola, he's looking for his first pole. Joker's looking for his first pole. Cook's looking for his third consecutive pole position. And for Ulvar, he's looking at a potential second row of the grid in his first race. I think this might actually be his first race ever. OWLS Racing League, so what a way to introduce yourself to everyone around you, as Ericsson's now retired alongside BJ Riley. I think they both had qualifying bans. But let's now look at drivers who are about to begin their next push laps. Joker has just come out onto the circuit, but we do have Rory in the McLaren, currently on a 29.3. 3.3 seconds separates first from 15th. And if Rory found a second, he would move himself all the way up 11th place from 11th on the grid. So as he heads through the first couple of corners, what is he going to be able to deliver here this evening? Not the greatest of runs out of turn 2. Still is quite decent. Makes his way now into turn 4. A bit of a slide there. Now makes his way through the S section at the end of this first sector. Oh, and he gets all over that curb, and that curb just pulls you outright, and all the way off the road goes Rory. That's that lap in the bin. No improvement will be found from the McLaren thus far. Need to back off and go again if he has the fuel to do so. Now, through the first sector split we go with Muist, and he's on a 32.8 in that first part of the lap, up by 1100ths of a second. Hash driver trying everything he can, will go on board a Joker. Once this lap is done for the Hash driver, will stop over to see his first sector split in a few moments time on there. Smoost invalidates through turns 22 and 23, only up by 0.2 of a second. Not tracking like a positional improvement, so I think we should quickly just head over to Joker as he makes his way through the first sector split. Is he up or is he down? He's down by 0.08 of a second, so at the moment for the Kicks Alba, it's not looking like he'll do enough to take pole position here this evening. But still, a middle and final sector to go. Anything can be found through these final couple of corners. Muse went up into 11th fastest. Plenty of time found in that final sector. Now for Joker, what's it going to be for him as he heads through the middle sector split? Is he still up or is he down? He's found a bit of time, but he's still down on the lap. And he pushed a little bit too aggressively through turn 22. And that's an invalidation for Joker, and now we switch over to his teammate of Puzan, who's also invalidated himself, but does have enough time to back off and then go again. New Panda is pushing on in the first sector as well. He's on a 28.1 and of course was improving on his previous attempt before he invalidated, don't forget. So let's see what the Ferrari can do. A little bit scruffy through 10 and 11. And he's up by half a tenth in that first sector. It'll be enough to put himself in front of Puzan, but not in front of Ulvar just yet. And Liam and Cook have also just started their next attempts as well, their final runs. See what they have to deliver too. We'll quickly head over to Cook as he's coming to the end of the first sector here. and runs a little bit wide and invalidates. Cook has invalidated. It won't be the three-peat. So Cook has done, unfortunately, all he can in this session. And it is going to be an invalidation. The man we usually see absolutely dominate these high-pressure scenarios in qualifying has fallen to the high side. And unfortunately for him, he's got starting from a best of third fastest. New Panda, he was up by 2 tenths in the middle sector. Is there anything in the final part of the lap to put himself onto the second row? No, there is not. He backs off and comes into the pit lane. Ulvar is down. Liam, though, he's up in the first and he's up in the middle. This will just be a statement lap here from Liam. It will be throwing down the gauntlet. And for Liam, it's just flexing the muscles at this point if he's able to pull off this lap and potentially get into the 126s. Through the final corner we go with the Alpine. Just needs to hold his nerve a little while longer. He does it nicely. And now up to the line for Liam. Is it enough for a 126 or is he just shy of that margin? It is enough for a 126. He flexes the muscles. He shows everyone what he still had in the locker. They may have improved, but oh boy, he can find more time. And now for Ulvar, he makes his way through the final sector. Can it be a top 3 start on debut here for the V-Carb? Or will he not be able to find the time he needs? Up to the line for Ulvar. He doesn't find the time he needs, but a 4th place, still a very respectable debut position in qualifying. And for Swaggy, he will start 8th after invalidating his attempts. But for Liam, here in the Alpine, he won, of course, in Imola from 2nd on the grid. He got 2nd on the grid last time out. He's been the nearly man for the past 2 races in qualifying, but the bridesmaid has finally become the bride. And it's Liam who leads us away in the Grand Prix from Joker, Cook, Ulvar, Puzan, Panda, Sprint, Swaggy, Ben, Liam, the A-Team, Massive, Must, Rory, Thames, and BJ Riley and Ericsson, of course, did not set lap times. And I think we are going to go in. No, we are not going to go into a lobby restart. Ignore me, ladies and gentlemen. Heading into the race. Drivers can deliver. As for Liam, does have that upper hand. He starts from pole. But that run down to turn 1. Joker on the front row of the grid alongside him can easily get that jump. Go for that move into the first corner. Wait and see what happens. All these drivers here this evening, but for Liam, finally gets pole position. And he convert that into his 2nd race victory. Close down that gap to the top 2 in the standings. So, quickly, before we head into the race, let's take you through the Jeddah Corniche Street Circuit. See, it's 6.174 kilometers for 3.836 miles with 27 turns and 3 DRS zones. Down the main straight between turns 17 and 22. Turns 24 and 27. Of course, the fastest street circuit on the calendar, where you're hardly off throttle. But the drivers are now just heading to the 5 red lights. It's Liam and Joker on the front row, and we're underway here in Jeddah, and it's a good start from the Alpine, and he has totally gapped the Kicksauber into that first corner, and Ulvar is going to go for a move there onto reigning champion Cook. We got 4 wide in the background, involving Puzant, Sprint, Swaggy, and New Panda, and New Panda's dropped down to 7th. Swaggy's been able to get past his teammate, and Puzant's been able to hold firm to that 5th place for the moment, as Liam runs a little bit wide out of turn 5, but for Joker, this isn't an overtaking opportunity, so the Alpine's able to live another day at the front of the field on this opening tour. And for Newt Panda, he's now going to come under pressure here from Ben, who's overtaken. Sprint is side by side in the background. I think that's 3 wide in the background, as BJ Riley's already made his way up into 12th. Liam Bearder has got his way up into 10th place, and the A team is now into 11th. Thames and Ericsson now battling in the background. Ericsson going to try hold this one around the outside here of turns 16 and 17. Is he going to be able to pull this one off? No, he's not. Has to just fall behind the Red Bull. And the V-Carb stays last, exactly where he started. Used to able to get past Rory and or Massive, and so is Rory as well. The Alpine down into 15th place now. And it actually gets a tag up the back there from Thames, and there's Thames spinning round, and that's allowed Ericsson through. The V-Cup just about avoids that Red Bull, but Thames, with our first moment of the race here in Jeddah, tapped the back there of Massive, and unfortunately for him, has front wing damage and drops down throughout the field. And now we have DRS enabled on the opening, after the opening lap here, as New Panda and Swaggy go side by side down the main straight. We're on board as Swaggy as his teammate looks to the inside line into that first corner, and the Ferrari battle do just nearly come to blows. But for New Panda, he's able to get by. Swaggy down to 7th place now, and Ben's going to look for it into turn 4. This is risky. This is extremely risky, as actually Sprint might be able to get by as well. Here comes Swaggy to try and hold it around the outside to keep his position, but he's lost 3 places in the span of the first sector. And for Sprint, he's now down even further, as Puzant has been able to get past Ulvar, who I think has made a mistake somewhere, because he's now dropped 9 attempts to make that a second behind, as the top 3 really have broken away. And for Sprint, he's able to get past on Ben as well, so he's up into 7th place now. And for Ben, back down into 8th. He gained a place, but instantly lost it to a different car, this time it being the Haas driver of Sprint. It's all kicking off in the opening 2 skirmishes of this race. Quickly look at the tyres. Everybody on the mediums except for Rory on the hards. And for Liam, he's got a half a second advantage at the front of the field. Muse able to go around to the inside, here of BJ Riley, but the Mercedes driver holds firm. There's a little bit of contact between the pair. Muse will try fight this one back. They both have DRS heading up into turn 27. We're going to see a dive here from the Haas driver, as the Mercedes just going to be able to hold firm. He's going to look to the inside as Muse. He's very late on the brakes. There's more contact between the pair. Muse goes deep, and this might allow the opportunity to arise here for BJ Riley. He's at the front of the field. Joker looking for the move there onto Liam. Oh, that was nearly contact between the front 2, but Liam is able to keep his race lead just about, and Joker had to slam on the anchors there as they made the apex of turn 1, as the Alpine just cut straight across the kick Sauber, and Muse further back was not able to get past there on BJ Riley. He did eventually lose that place on the switchback. But for Puzant, he's 1.9 seconds behind his championship rival HB Cook. But exactly where he would want to be as Riley picks up the first 3-second time penalty of the evening. Liam Bearder looks to be all over the back of the A team, just isn't able to get close enough and go for a move. A big wobble as well. Out of turn 12 isn't going to do him any good. Ulvar has been able to close that gap down to Puzant at the front of the field and bring it down below a second. But he now has DRS at his advantage to help him also defend from New Panda behind. But let's have a look at the front of the field once more. Between Liam and Joker. Is he going to be close enough? No, just not yet. But it's all about this exit for him. Really bring down that gap down the main straight on that last tour. How much battery does Liam have left? Not much to play with, and this might give Joker that opportunity to just look around the outside, and he's got the move done as easy as you like with the TRS, and he takes that race lead away from the Alpine off a torrid start to the season. Could this be where the form finally comes back into his favour for Joker? Sauber driver leads the way. Puzant still leading Ulvar and New Panda behind. Liam's dropped massively off the back there of Joker. He's now down to second. It goes all over that curb on the turn 9. That just skates you out wide, picks up 3 seconds. Still within DRS range, luckily, a Joker, but I think Cook would feel a little bit hard done by with that one. It was completely cut across that runoff area, and it gave the Aston Martin no opportunity to attack on the Alpine in front. So as DRS is now open, and we make our way into turn 22. Joker, I think, has just not been able to break DRS onto Liam. He has not. The Alpine is just able to still be dragged along by the kick Sauber. Down into turn 27, final corner. Open up the DRS once more down that main straight. Not much battery to play with here for Liam, and they might give Cook the opportunity to go through, but no. Just is not close enough for the move, and he's hemorrhaging time now, and it's allowing Joker to drink further and further clear. Yellow flag a little bit further back. That might have been for Thames once more. Or even Rory maybe. He's dropped down to 15th place. 3-second time penalty to boot as well. But Liam still just about clawing his way into DRS range. Onto Joker in front of him. He's just quick at the right places and just quick enough to keep himself with that rear wing activation. Actually starting to close up a lot more, so he could start to fight back now. Maybe just saved up some battery. Now really start to close up to the back of the kick Sauber and have his revenge, have his turn to get back by onto Joker. Of course, how long do they take these medium compounder tyres in first stint? Bearder now looking for a move here on Swaggy as the Ferrari will have to defend the inside. Here is the Red Bull, will look to swing it all the way around the outside. He does try to do it, but just goes a little bit too deep, and it allows the Ferrari to just stay ahead. His sprint has a big moment just behind this train as well, able to keep the car up the wall, but that was a huge slide for the Haas driver as Liam Bearder and Swaggy now side by side into turn one, and Swaggy has to back out of the move as BJ Riley tried to go around the outside. But nothing doing there for the Mercedes. He keeps 11th as he stays at 11th. Swaggy keeps 10th. At the front of the field once more, it is Liam as Sprint picks up a 3-second time penalty for himself now. On lap 6:25, we already have a total of 5 drivers with penalties. One of them has just made a move. Rory onto Massive, up into 14th he will go. And is this where the pendulum switches into the hard tyres' favour as Thames picks up another 3-second time penalty too. Ben, he's already dropped 7 seconds back from Luke Panda in front, who himself is 2.2 seconds behind Ulvar. Bazant in front of him is 2.2 seconds back from Cook in front of him, but at the front of the field, look at this. Liam getting closer to the back of Joker, just backs out of the move into the final corner. Thames has had a spin, as unfortunately for him, dropped even further back from the couple of cars in front of him. And now for Liam, this might be his opportunity to get back into that race lead. Is this going to be it for the Alpine, or is he just going to sit behind and save that battery once more behind the kick Sauber? He dips behind once more. Luckily, there's no battling with Cook behind, so it's not even fighting Puzan into the equation just yet. Actually lost 3 attempts thanks to the fact that the guys in front of him who have that DRS. Actually, Liam goes wide. Liam went wide there, and that's allowed Cook to head straight through. And he's just about got himself within DRS range of Joker there. Liam running wide out of turn 9. Got on that death curb once again. And it just drags the car onto it and it skates over like a skateboard on a grind rail. You get no control, you bottom out. And for Liam, they've dropped out of DRS range here at Cook, and it actually might give Puzan some DRS and pull the kick Sauber along. And for Ulvar, he's actually been able to get past Puzan at 2. So now we have a 5-car battle at the front of the field. If Liam's able to catch back up, I think Joker's made a mistake just as we switch to the V-car, getting the move on the other kick Sauber. Joker making an error, and that's allowed Cook to look to the inside, and the reigning champ hits the front of the field for the first time this evening. And the championship leader takes the lead of the race here on lap 8 of 25. How long can he keep it for as we see our first drivers into the pit lane of the A team and Ben? So for Joker, he'll now want to try and get by, but of course, not only Liam's back into play, also Ulvar and Puzan too. Ben picks up a 3-second time penalty after just coming out of the pit lane onto those hard compound of tyres. Joker just not able get close enough just yet, and it's actually allowing Liam to catch up to the back of him as well, but he's dropped him ever so slightly with that brilliant exit at turn 23, and here comes Joker to the outside. Hero Cook, is he going to look for the move now or just wait for that DRS detection zone? He's going to try go around the outside. Who's going to get the DRS here? Will it be Cook or will it be Joker? There's a yellow flag in the background. That's for Swaggy, who's had a moment, but Joker gets that DRS. He looks to the inside line, and Liam might just follow him through here for that second place. To the inside goes the Alpine on the Aston Martin. He goes all the way over the curb, and Cook holds on to the position, but Liam tries the up and under out of 2 and isn't able to hold on. And for Liam, wasn't able to find that room, and he stays in 3rd place as Ulvar with a big slide out of turn 5, and that now gives Puzan the opportunity to attack potentially into turn 12. See more drivers as well coming to pit lane, both the Haas drivers and BJ Riley. Oh, what a big slide there for Puzan. Through turn 16, that was a huge wobble. And might have just cost him DRS. Potentially just a little bit too hot on the power. Has been able to claw his way back into that DRS as Liam picks up another 3-second time penalty in this Grand Prix. That now brings him up into 6 seconds, and that's what's been the downfall of Liam on multiple occasions. Just that inconsistency. He's just never consistent enough when he needs it. And for Liam, 6 seconds will drop him down to 5th place. Luckily, that gap between Nuke Panda and this top 5 is so large it won't matter as actually Puzan comes into pit lane here on lap 9. Of course, we've just started lap 10, but it was lap 9 for Puzan when he came into the pits. Sprint picks up a 3-second time penalty as well alongside Nuke Panda. Follow it, we're on board with Cook as he tries to follow Joker through the first sector. The dirty air is so strong in that first part of the lap. The car just wants to completely understeer out on you the whole time. Really got to fight it, and Puzan, luckily enough for him, has come out. I was going to say come out in some clean space, but he's not. He's actually come out behind Ericsson here. Gets caught up behind the V-carb through this middle sector. Might actually help out, of course, Ericsson's teammates of Ulvar. He'll look to the outside, maybe get the up and under, try get the exit onto the V-carb in front of him. Does get the exit, but that certainly would have cost him a few tenths of a second trying to get past Ericsson there, and that could help Ulvar. As do these drivers react to Puzan's pit stop? Do they react to that undercut attempt? Do they just carry on with their plan and stick out even longer? We'll find out in a few moments' time. Joker makes his way through the final corner. So does Cook and Liam. Do any come into the pit lane? Yes, Joker, Cook Does Liam come in? Yes, he does. Ulvar, the only one to stay out of that top 4 who are left out on the circuit. And for Joker, Cook and Liam, this is a crucial pit stop phase. Where does Puzan come out in relation? Of course, Puzan now making his way down that main straight. These guys will cut off the first corner and get a nice slingshot out of turn 2. Puzan into that first turn now. Where is Joker in all of this? He's going to come out side by side, and he's actually ahead of his teammate Joker. It's a spectacular one-lap undercut there from Puzan as he takes the lead of the race. Time that to sheer perfection. And for who was second of the Kicksaubers on the road, he tried something different, and it has certainly worked into his favour as he's now leading this train. James gets 10-second time when he was speeding in the pit lane, and he is our first retirement of the race. I want to appreciate how a lot of these drivers have been able to keep it damage-free and out of the wall in the first 11 laps. Around a circuit like this, it is not easy at all as we see a switch between the two Kicksaubers. As Joker's able to get past there onto Puzan. Is Puzan going to fight back low? Now he has some DRS. Down into turn 27, the final corner. He will get closer and closer. He'll probably back out of it to get the DRS down the main straight. Yes, just not going to look for the lunge. Of course, Liam and Cook just behind these two as well. But how's this exit going to be for Puzan? How is the drive down the main straight going to be? Ulvar stays out even longer. New Panda now into the pit lane. Puzan not even going to go try for a move. I think he's now just focusing on managing battery and tyres and just wait behind his teammate until the end of the race. Oh, it's Puzan into the wall! Puzan into the wall at turn 4. And that's now allowed Liam and Cook to go side by side through the first sector. Joker picks up 3 seconds. It's all kicking off here on lap 12. But the man second place in the standings. Puzan hits the wall at turn 4, and that could be a championship-defining incident only in the 4th round of the season, as it will be nil points for Puzan in Saudi Arabia. And for Cook, he might be able to extend that lead to 25 points if he keeps it clean on the road. And that is a big swing in the championship battle. Puzan, who won last time out in Vegas, who redeemed himself after a tricky season finale the last time we headed to that circuit here in Saudi Arabia. A costly incident, just like what happened in Belgium, to get it removed in the steward's room has cost him of any opportunity for a race win, let alone a podium. So, for the man second in the standings, it is despair here in the desert. And for the man leading the way in the championship standings, he had to take very quick avoiding reactions. He nearly went into the back of the Kicksauber. Just about was able to avoid him though through turn 5. But that's what allowed Liam to try go around the outside, because of course Cook had to just go all the way to the inside off the road and try and just keep his car intact, avoiding the Kicksauber, who actually, his tyre buckled underneath him. As Ben's now coming under pressure from the sprint. But for Puzan, boy oh boy, could that be a costly mistake by the time we get to the season finale. Oh, an incident there between Sprint and Ben. A little bit of contact between the pair. Surprised that crash didn't bring out a safety car. Parked in the middle of the road. But how costly could that be in the championship fight? Because we know that Cook was able to draw himself back into contention last season from around this stage, just due to his ruthless consistency. He was always at the front, never really in any incidents, and was just constantly scoring high strong points all season long, and that's what brought him back, because Puzan started to tumble in the consistency department. His sprint nearly into the back there of Ben. The Hash driver lucky to keep it out of that Williams' diffuser, as we actually see BJ Riley now potentially might go for an attack. But with Cook's consistency and Puzan having it 2 races where a race win's been taken away from him, and now a potential podium at the very least has been taken away from him. Could see the title already being the reigning champion's reach to make him a 3-time OWLS Racing League champion. BJ Riley picks up a 3-second time penalty sprint. Now looking to the inside of Ben once more into turn 12. There's more contact between the pair, but he is able to move himself up into 6th place. A sprint. He could be on for one of his best results of the season. Let's quickly have a look at the penalty count. As actually Cook's been able to claw himself back into the 1 second window of Cook. Rory has disconnected from the set. Not Cook, sorry, of Joker. And Cook, Rory's disconnected from the session. Sprint might be going for a move here onto the A team. The penalty situation is as such. It's 3 seconds for Joker, 6 seconds for Liam. 9 seconds for Sprint, 3 for Ben, 6 for Riley, 3 for both Panda and Ericsson. Used also on 3, and Rory on 6 seconds of penalties. Our biggest gainer so far in the race is BJ Riley, up 8 from, of course, 16th on the grid. As here comes Ben to the outside of Sprint, and is free wide into that first corner. Who's going to come out on top here? Sprint gets it all crossed up, and it's allowed Ben through. He gets tagged by BJ Riley through turn 2, he drops down to 9th place. And BJ Riley into the back of the A-team as well. Caught out under braking. A-team picks up 3 seconds thanks to that. And that's now allowed Liam Bearder through, and he cuts right in front of Sprint. And it's all gone completely wrong there for BJ Riley in the span of a couple of corners. Into the back of Sprint and instantly into the back of the A-team. He thought he gained a place, but no, then instantly drops down a further place. Is now back down into 8th. Ben capitalising all of that, moving himself up into the top 5. If we look at the front of the field heading down the main straight now, that's just the gap that these guys have got a little bit from the guys further back. New Panda's down in 10th. He was in 5th at one stage. And Cook not close enough for a move. But let's have a look at the A-team's battle here with Ben, Lee and Bearder. It's 2x2 as they make their way through the final corner. The A-team looked for the DRS onto the Williams as they all snake their way down the main straight. Here comes the A-team. This is something you would see on something like a safety car restart. That's how close they all are. Let's look at Nuke Panda try to go to the inside here of not only Nuke Sprint but also BJ Riley. And there's contact. BJ Riley sent into a half slide, and now Sprint spins by himself in turn 2. He's been facing the wrong way twice, and Sprint down into 11th place. That's 2 separate incidents into that second corner in 2 laps. And for Sprint, unfortunately, that is a big moment for him in this race, and that might have just ruled him out of point scoring contention, as we actually see Ericsson going all the way off the road there, as Nuke Panda's all over the back of Liam Bearder as we make our way down into turn 12, but had a poor exit out of turn 11. Was not able to get close enough for a move. It's kicking off everywhere you look. This is a fantastic Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As now Liam Bearder is all over the back of Ben. Surely won't go for the move into turn 22. It would have to be super brave. Try one up the inside of the outside there. No, does not. And of course Ben, he's trying to hunt down the A-team just in front of him as well, who hasn't got DRS. in that Aston Martin. At the front of the field, Cook once again not close enough. And are we actually going to see Liam Bearder try go all the way around the outside here of the Williams driver? The Red Bull will be late on the brakes. There's some contact between the pair. Bearder will be shown as wide as possible here from the Williams as they're now going to drag race down the main straight. Of course, both having DRS, both having somewhat full batteries. I say that Bearder has already put his into none in his D rating. Here comes Snoop Panda, not only onto Liam Bearder, but potentially onto Ben as well. Look to the inside, just wasn't close enough to get it done. Will hooks the Williams, and that's just allowed Liam Bearder to do the up and under and get the switchback onto the Ferrari, but it won't just be enough. He won't get the drive, and he will have to full position as Ben goes off the road there at turn 4, and that's allowed Snoop Panda to swoop all the way around the outside, and now he's up into 6th place, hunting down the 18th for 5th, who's on fair one of his best results for the season, and one of his best results of his OWLS Racing League career, as Liam Bearder is now all over the back of Ben once again, with BJ Riley and Ericsson closely following in tow, as there goes the V-Cub to the inside. Ericsson, of course, who started last, is now in the points. He looks to the inside line. He's fighting the man who started on the back row of the grid with him, but stays in 10th place. Wasn't able to find an open opportunity, an open door to see himself through. Ericsson actually able to get past BJ Riley with the DRS there. I think a poor run for the Mercedes. And a big slide for Ericsson and into the wall for the V-Cub. I think due to the fact he hit it square on with the two left-hand side tyres, didn't pick up any front wing damage. A very, very lucky driver there is Ericsson. Incredibly lucky indeed, as Snoop Panda gets past the A-team, who's coming into the pit lane, and he's doing the 2-stop here this evening along with Ben. Right to see drivers trying the 2-stop. Doesn't seem like a strategy that would work out to me. Saudi Arabia usually is a 1-stop, as Cook has actually been able to get past Joker through turn 12. So has there been a moment for Joker? There's a yellow flag in that middle sector, and that was for Liam, I think. I think Liam's picked up some front wing damage after having a slide out of turn 12. He has. Front right end plates has gone off the car. And for Liam, he's now got himself out of race winning contention. Ovar on his debut could potentially take a podium here this evening. What a turn of events this could be. I want to just quickly double check that it is Ovar's debut, and I'm not saying this completely wrong, but it's the first time I've seen him in the past 2 seasons. Been here for quite a while. I'm just not sure if he's raced, so he might have already made his debut, just hasn't raced quite some time. Now for Joker, he's all over the back of Cook trying to reclaim that position, but for Cook at the moment, as long as he keeps it on the circuit and stays within 3 seconds of Joker, if the kick salver does get through, he will take your race victory, and that will be his second race victory of the season. Our first double winner of the season. BJ Riley now comes into pit lane to get off those hard compounder tyres. He's only done 10 laps on. So for Ulvar, as of course Liam struggles with that front wing damage, he is looking for a podium. As he gets closer and closer. The back of that Alpine, talking about getting closer to the back of someone. Here comes Cook onto Joker. Goes deep into that final corner, and that might give Joker the opportunity now to drag side by side, and we'll get that position back. So Joker does take the race lead away from Cook, but of course Cook don't have to worry too much as we've got 6 laps to go now in this Grand Prix, and Ulvar has been able to make his way past Liam, who's come into the pit lane potentially just to change that front wing damage. Surely not everyone's trying the 2-stop here. I think Liam just knew he was bleeding too much time, had a free pit stop window as well. Panda Maybe we'll just actually come out behind the Ferrari, but at least we'll have that tyre deficit to push on. Be able to get straight back through onto the Ferrari. Here will come out just behind him. They're going to be side by side on the exit of turn 2. Liam just leaving enough space there for the Alpine to hold on as Swaggy is now trying to overtake Sprint. Swaggy at one stage was with his teammate and then had a moment in the middle sector through turn 23. That brought him out of race winning, not race winning, sorry, of top 5 contention. Ericsson now picks up a 3-second time penalty. 7th place at the moment. From the back of the field, a very valiant effort, up 10 places so far in this Grand Prix. Really are entering crunch time. We're in the final stages of this race. Baggy and Sprint. They're battling over 8th place on the road, but of course, Sprint's penalties got behind the Ferrari. The 18, well, he's at last points paying position at the moment as Liam is getting close to the back of Newt Panda as we make our way down that main straight. 5th will be the best that Liam can get this evening. 20-second gap to Alvar in front as led to the outside goes Liam, and he makes his way. 5. So, with 5 laps to go here, of course, Liam able to hold on. At 4th place as we look at the penalties. Panda's 3. Only on 3. Sprint's now up to 12, so he'll could still potentially drop out of the points here. Could Sprint. Will drop out of the points here as it currently stands. Flag in the first sector, and that's from Muist. That brought out a safety car. That could have changed the complexion of everything. And of course, that did as Massive's now unfortunately connected from the session. Of course, if Muis did bring out a safety car and change everything, I was going to say Olvar could have been on for a race victory, but he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty, so only a few cars remain. Swaggy's now all over the back of Sprint as they make their way down into that first corner. Swaggy just sits behind, goes for the up and under. What a move this could be from the Ferrari. But no, just not got the drive at a small moment on exit. Instead, a Toyota Gazoo Racing sponsorship at the back of that rear wing. When we cross the line, it'll be 3 laps to go here with Joker and Cook. And Cook just happily biding his time, sitting behind the kickstyle, but he could even be waiting for the final lap here. Mikey, of course, still trying to hunt down Sprint, just one of them. These are the 2 big battles. Actually, something's happened to Sprint. Sprint has gone around out of turn 22 and 23. As soon as I say, it's been hunted down by Swaggy. Has a moment, and unfortunately drops down to 12 as actually the A team has been overtaken by Ben. But now the Aston Martin will fight back. Of course, both on 3-second time penalty, so this will be 4 positioners. To the inside goes the A team. These two are catching up to Swaggy as well, so they could still even get 8th place if they get past the Ferrari quick enough. And for the A team, he's through and up into 9th now in this race. At one stage, he was up in the top 5 and gets turn 4 all wrong. Luckily for him, Ben was not able to capitalise. They're nearly starting, 2 laps to go. The A team tries to hunt down Swaggy. Muse picks up a 3-second time penalty. Ben, unfortunately, just falling further and further back from the Aston Martin. Brink came into the pit lane on that final lap, so he won't score any points. Yeah, it's for Liam! Liam's crashed at turn 4! Another one of the championship hopefuls has fallen at turn 4. It was Puzant just after they came into the pit lane on lap 12. And here, 12 laps later, Liam hits the wall. And for Cook, he will be smiling with glee inside the cockpit right now of that Aston Martin. Because it wasn't only Puzant, it's Cook as well. It's Liam as well, who has also got into that wall. And he will have a monumental championship lead over the pair of them. Because he will win this race if he keeps it clean. And for Newt Panda, he will slice that gap down to only a few points between himself. Be 10 points separating himself and Puzant in the championship standings as well. So he could be in for looking for 2nd at some stage this season. But for Cook, he knows he now needs to bring it home as we start the final tour of this circuit for Joker. It has been a well-driven race, but unfortunately for him, he will fall short thanks to that penalty on this. Cook picks one up on this final lap. The A team looks to the outside of Swaggy. But a pray the Ferrari gets a 3-second time penalty. If he wants to get 8th place in this one, Newt Panda picks up another 3-second time penalty, and now Ben will look for a move too. Onto the Scuderia Ferraris, they gallop their way down into that first corner. Actually might try and make it 3 wide here with the A team as Ben tries to go around the outside of the Aston Martin. Does go around the outside of the Aston Martin in a spectacular move. Ben up into 7th, but it will be 8th come the end of this one. But at the front of the field, it is Joker versus Cook. I think if you're Cook, you want to get this one on the road because Joker still might be able to get the penalty removed. Even if not, it'll be nice to get it on the road and not after penalties. He'll get closer and closer, but he will not go for the move into the final corner, you would think. No, backs off completely. This has been a real turning point in the championship. It may only be round 4, but it could be championship defining. It's going to be Joker on the road. But for the first time this season with a double race winner, it's going to be Cook who takes the spoils here under the lights in Saudi Arabia. The Aston Martin wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And Alvar picks up 3rd with Joker in 2nd. And for Cook, that is a real champion's drive. When his rivals around him faltered, he was able to pick up the pieces, pick up the scraps, and he takes the full 25 points. And that gap at the top of the standings now will be 27 points. Oh, 28 points, sorry. A race win away now at the top of the standings. But we've seen this story before after the opening few rounds. And that was when Cook chased Puzant down. Good, the kick Sauber get his revenge, but with the form and consistency the 2-time champion, the reigning champion, has shown throughout the past 2 seasons, it will be extremely difficult to stop this man now. And for HB Cook, Reigning champion, the championship leader, will take a healthy championship lead. Joker as well, picking up one of his best results of the season. As Muse sprints across the line, and then it'll be Muse as well to end off our finishers in the lobby, and then Massive and Rory, both of their AI cars. As across the line comes Muse, and that is the end of your Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As we see for the first time this season, someone take 2 race victories. It was Cook, it was Liam, it was Buzan in the first 3. And there was a similar story in the past 2 races. In fact, that Liam started on the front row in both. Cookie may have finished second. Ian Miller, of course, a third place finish. No, yeah, third place finish. No, second place finish, sorry, last time out. So in both those races as well, there was Cook finishing second. He's not finished lower than second all season long. Race victory, then 2 seconds, and a race victory again. But here is your standings from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's Cook from Joker, Ulvar, Liam Bearder, who finished 4th in the end. A spectacular drive from him. Panda in 5th. Ericsson, Swaggy, Ben, the 18, BJ Riley, Sprint, Must, Massive, Rory, and it was Liam, Pezant, and also Thames race. But on that count on driver of the day, I think I'll have to give that one to Liam Bearder from 10th to 4th. A real unknown in that one. Kept himself clean. He kept himself out of trouble. Solid drive from him. So that will be my driver of the day as we head back to the camera screen. Just before we head off, before I show you the calendar, my driver of the day will be Liam Bearder for a very, very solid drive to pick up one of his best results in a long, long time. I think, actually, as we, of course, come out of this evening, first point of the season for Liam, actually. So, yes, his first point finish of the season picks up 12 points. That would move all the way up for around about 8th place driver's standings. So, spectacular result there from Liam. Yeah, able to pick that one up away to score your first few points. Whether the Carnage able to do that one-stop strategy while your rivals around you tried the 2-stop. But, ladies and gentlemen, before we head off, let's have a look at the calendar for the rest of the season. Next week is sprint race time as we head to the Hungaroring. Excuse me, for round 5 of the season. Then followed by a trip to our 3rd street circuit of the season. We head to Baku, then Silverstone, followed by Abu Dhabi, Qatar, and Shanghai. We'll head over to China. Final round of the season, which will be our 2nd sprint of the season. We head to the halfway stage next week. It is, of course, Cook in prime position for the championship standing. He will be 28 points clear heading into the Hungaroring. Of course, with more points on offer, Puzan has a better opportunity to close down that gap, but it's extremely difficult to so. It is going to be a wild Hungarian Grand Prix if today was anything to go by. Puzan completely lost what he built and what he put back over the past week. Now, going to do it all over again. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to join us next week at 8 PM UK time on 9 PM time. So, make sure if you want to participate yourself, potentially reserve time seats taken. OWLS server, the OWLS eSports server. Sign up in bold. But that's going to be all from me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for watching. As we head to the Hungaroring next week, will Cook be able to extend his championship lead even further? Could Puzan or Liam fight back and claw it back down. And for, of course, Joker, can he carry on? Fine momentum. Might have just built after he felt here in Saudi Arabia. Potentially himself way back in championship contention. All will be revealed as we reach the halfway point of the season, but for Cook, this certainly for him will be a huge turning point in his championship campaign. Can he take the crown by the end of it? Busan be able to bounce back from a difficult Saudi Arabian Grand Prix be revealed next week. So join us for the sprint in Hungary. See you next week. Stay safe, stay well, and thank you. Bye-bye.